Hey there, welcome back to the BoardGame Sherpa channel, where we take the fear out of board gaming and put the fun back in. Today's episode is bittersweet. One of my favorite board game stores in the world just went out of business a couple of days ago. This is a store I've talked about on the channel, one that I would drive an hour and a half to regularly because it has such a great selection and great staff. But there is good news for everybody, and we'll get into that. We have Miranda Suarez, the former general manager of Family Fun Hobbies, here today to tell the story and make an announcement that will make New Jersey board gamers very happy. Welcome aboard, Miranda.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. All right, so let's just jump into it. Tell us about a brief history of how Family Fun Hobbies came into existence.
So back in 2009, the owners, Rob and Katrina, who are husband and wife, opened Family Fun Hobbies because they wanted a change of pace and they wanted to try and start their own business. Rob used to work over at another game store called Gamers Realm, so he had experience in the industry and was ready to throw his hat in the ring and try and be a business owner.
How did you get to be involved in this?
So I started working at Family Fun Hobbies back in 2019. I had graduated college about 7 months previously. Was still looking for what I considered at the time to be like a real job. Um, Fell face first into retail and then somehow ended up there for 5.5 years. So I rose up the ladder. I started off as just a retail associate. About 3 years in, I got promoted to the assistant manager, and then about 2 years after that. So for the last year and a half, I've been the general manager of Family Fun Hobbies.
The staff that was on there as of Sunday, how long has most of those people been around?
Almost everyone on our staff has been there a minimum of 4 years.
Awesome.
So we are a veteran crew.
I know from going there all the time, but what makes Family Fun Hobbies the premier board game store?
A lot of it is, for a while we were kind of the only game in town. Not to be confused with the actual store called the only game in town, but I'm using it as a figurative phrase. Um, for a while we didn't have much competition, so we were able to build up a large community of people. And that's really what makes Family Fun Hobbies as amazing as it is our community. We were a huge spot for events. We have different events every night of the week, or had different events every night of the week. Um, and the thing too is that our staff is all very knowledgeable on games, hobbies, and everything that we sell at the store. So
Okay. And I can
people really
attest to that.
appreciate that.
I can attest to that, as I've been there many times, and you guys have been great.
Appreciate that. We try.
What happened to Family Fun Hobbies, and why did you close last Sunday?
Yes. So gosh, it's kind of a long story, but I'll try and keep it as short as I can. Essentially, about 3 or 4 years ago, Rob had his first stroke. We believe that even though he made a recovery physically, we're starting to believe now that he hadn't fully recovered mentally. And unfortunately, during that time, he made some very poor choices financially, which put us into a lot of debt. Um, we didn't realize how bad the debt was until Rob had his second stroke more recently. This was about 2 or 3 months ago now that he had the second stroke. Um, Rob has now been moved into assisted living. It's very unlikely that he'll ever fully recover, unfortunately. And in doing that, I kind of had to take over. And I saw how bad the debt was. It was just unsalvageable. So we had to go through with bankruptcy.
Okay, and so I know you guys had a GoFundMe in the process to try and save the
Mhm.
store. How did that
Yes.
go?
So I launched the GoFundMe as a last ditch effort to try and save the store. When I launched the GoFundMe, I knew that there was no way we were going to hit our goal of $250,000. But I figured at the very least it would buy us time to come up with a plan. And the outpouring of support from the community was humbling, to say the least. We raised, in the end, about $15,000, which was all small donations of like $5 to $20. So it was really incredible. And that ended up helping to pay our rent for an additional month, plus a little bit extra. Um, and in that time, we met Ray, and we'll get into that later. But that was kind of the birth of the exciting news that I have. So,
Okay, it sounds like a good segue into our White Knight, Ray.
yes.
How did he enter the picture?
So Ray Wong is a CEO of a NASDAQ company called Greenland Technologies. They actually build uh, material handling equipment, but electric based. But Ray also has a personal vested interest in Family Fun Hobbies and the industry at large. He sent me an email through the Family Fun Hobbies email introducing himself. He said that he was a customer at Rob's mother's store, Arlene Placer, who owned Hobby Masters in Red Bank, when he was a kid, like back in the 80s. So he wanted to try and do what he could to help preserve, as he put it, the Placer legacy. So at first, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought this was a scam, because I'm like, there's no way someone is just gonna like come here and like sweep us off of our feet and fix the problem. But I agreed to meet with him. Turned out that he was serious. Ray is a really great guy. He's amazing. So the initial plan was for Ray to invest in Family Fun Hobbies and save the store. However, doing the math and the numbers and everything, we quickly realized that just wasn't an option. But Ray really had a vested interest in me and my team. And so he offered to invest in us and start a brand new business.
And now it's time for the announcement.
Yes. So the exciting announcement, as if you haven't already heard, is that the staff of Family Fun Hobbies, with the help of Ray, are opening a brand new game store called Round 2 Gaming. We're going to be opening this fall, hopefully in the Quaker Bridge Mall. We are currently finalizing a lease there in negotiation. But if something catastrophic happens, we are going to be at least in the Mercer County area. So.
Okay, and Quaker Bridge Mall is how far away from the original store?
Well, like 7 minutes. Like it's right down the road. So.
Awesome. And we'll have parking?
Yep, plentiful parking.
What are the plans for the new store, provided everything goes as expected?
So if everything goes as expected, our plans are to essentially migrate our community from Family Fun Hobbies to Round 2 Gaming. Round 2 Gaming is going to be very similar to Family Fun Hobbies, although with a somewhat narrowed scope. We're definitely going to be focusing more on games. So we want to do board games, trading card games, role-playing games, and miniature wargaming. And again, as similar to Family Fun Hobbies, we'll be doing events every night of the week. We'd also really like to start incorporating educational games and like STEM activities as well.
Oh, nice.
One of the coolest things about Family Fun Hobbies is that you brought Kickstarter games in.
Yes.
If you miss the campaign, there was still a chance to get these games that came in through as opposed to buying a retail version of a Kickstarter game which has none of the extras. You can actually buy the game with the extras. Is that still going to happen?
So we actually have Round 2 Gaming has a Discord channel already, and it has slightly over 250 members already, which is great. And one of our channels on the server is Kickstarters. So we want people to tell us what Kickstarters they're interested in, so that way we can decide what's worth backing for the store, and get the community involved in helping us make those decisions.
Cool. And just in case it hasn't been told a million times already, DC United is coming out.
We'll keep that in mind. Well, I'll tell you what, James, join our Discord channel and, post that in our Kickstarter.
This might be the first Discord channel I ever joined. all the staff from Family Fun are going to
yes.
Round 2 Gaming.
It's myself. I'll be the general manager there. My assistant manager, Julian, will be reprising his role as assistant manager at the new store as well. Gil, my social media director, Jay, my data entry specialist and board game connoisseur, and then also Nick, who's my event coordinator. However, Nick recently graduated from HVAC schooling, so he is kind of looking to move on and up in the world. So he might be joining us for a short period. I'm hoping to at least have him through the holidays, but I know I can't keep him if he finds better work. So
I understand. It's like HVAC and board gaming are two different things.
Yeah, it's two different worlds. But I mean, Nick is like my expert on all things Warhammer, so like losing him is gonna kill me.
Well, again, he'll have more money to come into the store
it's true.
buy.
And I know Nick will always be a customer. Nick is also a really good friend of mine. So, I mean, I'm friends with all of my staff. We've become a family over the past 5 years. So,
I did a video months ago called "Our Local Board Game Stores Doomed," and the story of Family Fun Hobbies kind of says, yeah, but the resurrection in Round 2 Gaming kind of disproves it. How do you feel about this and the future of board gaming stores?
So the future of board gaming stores is actually crucial, and I would say that it is the opposite of doomed. It's thriving right now. The only reason that Family Fun Hobbies ended up dying was because of our debt. Aside from our loan payments, Family Fun Hobbies was still a profitable business, which is a shame that that's how that turned out. I don't know if you're familiar with the sociological concept of a third space, but third spaces are essentially like everyone has their first space, which is their home, their second space, which is their work. People need a third space, which is like a communal place that they can go to be together as a community and do something. Our society right now has such a astounding lack of third spaces that are accessible to most people, because you have libraries, but you have to be quiet there. You can't really speak too loudly. You have gyms, which require a membership, so that costs money. But board game stores, places that you can go to play games with your friends in a public setting, is so important right now, especially with the younger generation really struggling to move out of their parents' homes and into their own places. They don't have anywhere private to go. They don't have somewhere to go to be with their friends. So that's why board game stores are incredibly important right now. And not just for board games, but also just as like a community center, a place to meet new people with similar interests, and find new hobbies, and learn more about things that you're interested in.
That's totally true. Years ago, I lived in Scotch Plains, which was right next to a little shop of comics, which had a really nice sized board gaming side. And eventually, they went out of business. They went out of the board game business, and then their comic store went to an online market. So I'm trying to find that third space right now. So you guys are an hour and a half away, but I still like. That's why I make that trip, because it's like that's the closest I found to that.
Exactly. And people will travel the time it takes to get there, because that's how important it is.
That's very true. I know I do.
Exactly.
Okay. Is there? How can fans and community members continue to support you in the new store? And when is round two? I know you said
slated to open.
Yeah.
So honestly, at this point, the best way to support us is to follow our social media. If you'd like, I can provide a link tree to all of our social media, which you can include in the description down below of your video. So that way people can follow us. We are currently most active on Discord, but we also have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or sorry, X now, and all the good stuff. So there's that. We are currently looking to open September or October of this year. Ray is feeling very ambitious. He's saying that we could probably do September. I'm thinking, trying to be more cautious, say October, but we'll definitely be open before the holiday season this year.
Okay, cool. Anything else you'd like to share with the audience about the legacy, about your journey, Family Fun Hobbies legacy, round two's legacy, anything that you want to share with us?
So I mean, I guess on a more note, I started working at Fun at one of the lowest points in my life, and the 5.5 years that I spent at Family Fun Hobbies it felt like a dream that I didn't want to wake up from, and that's why I fought so hard to have round two gaming become a thing. We are incredibly excited about round two gaming. Of course, it is bittersweet. The loss of Family Fun Hobbies is a really devastating blow to the community, because Family Fun has been around for 15 years. Everyone knows Family Fun Hobbies. So it's bittersweet. One door closes, another door opens, and we're really hoping that everyone who loved Family Fun Hobbies and loved what Rob and Katrina did will, follow us to Round 2 Gaming to continue that legacy.
Final question. All your Instagram is set up around round the number 2 gaming, right? Like round.
Yeah.
Like on Instagram, so, if you look for that, you'll find it.
Yes. So I think there's a couple. It might be like Instagram, I think, where it's Round 2 Gaming New Jersey, or like NJ. Okay. But as I said, in the link tree, there will be links to everything.
That's pretty much the interview. You got an announcement where we got round 2 gaming coming. The legacy of Family Fun Hobbies was there for a reason. Thank you so much, Miranda, and we'll see you next episode.